So I just found something kind of interesting on neurotypicals and autistic people and how we interact. I find it interesting being an autistic person because after getting diagnosed, I've done a lot of research on certain things I've just observed. These things have affected me for sure, at times turned me into a misanthrope, but at the end of the day, it turns out it wasn't just all in your head. A lot of these psychological biases and how it manifests in people. How they treat you might not be intentional. That's true a lot of the times, but this one in particular was interesting to me because, see, I've always felt like everyone else kind of projects who they are onto you to try to understand you. What would I do in this situation to act like that? Ah, of course. And then they come up with something that doesn't reflect you. You being an autistic person in this case, I guess. But, yeah, that's part of the condition a lot of times. The social disability, if you want to call it that. It has an element of feeling misunderstood. And, well, the more we know about autism, the more time we have to research it, the more we figure out. And we also figure out more about neurotypicals. Something that I found interesting is this emotional egocentric bias, what I just described. When autistic people and neurotypicals interact, the neurotypical tends to have the bias that others are sharing my feelings. So with that, you can kind of get this sort of cognitive understanding of other people. That is, if your feelings and emotions actually line up, which they do a lot of times, so you can't really blame the neurotypicals too much. But, see, it is just a default mode. It's kind of autopilot, and autistic people all the time have to go outside that comfort zone of just being able to kind of cruise through things. And the thing is we understand we're different. We understand. Putting what I would do on top of you right now will give me a shit picture of what you actually want. See, a lot of us actually have a large affective empathy and can understand when you're upset just by the change in tone of voice. And I might put it even at a heightened sensitivity. Like, sure, a lot of us don't like to look at people, but if the light is too bright, are you going to look at the light? Probably not. You're going to close your eyes. It's overwhelming. Point being, I just don't think we're as self-absorbed a lot of times as people think. That's a common sort of stereotype of us. And we understand people don't think like us. I guess to close this off, just to round it about, I really have always seen this in people, the emotional, egocentric bias, just thinking like who you are and how you are is how everyone else is, kind of. But, something interesting. Whenever I kind of like share a tidbit about myself and point out my emotional state, I get a common response. Yeah, but not everyone's like that. It's like, that's such a common thing people tell me. I'm like, I know. Like, I know not everyone's like that. That's why I shared it, to let you know that I actually see it this way. The first thing they do is tell you that not everybody's emotional state's the same as yours. Okay. At the end of the day, I think it just might be another type of bias that research might find given more time. So, yeah. I think that does it. Let me know if you found any of that interesting, or have seen it in your own life. Maybe you've experienced in some way.